Okay, so what a polarizing video, right? So I am currently looking at my Antebellum video, and it is so polarizing. I haven't had a video like that in a while where it was, you look at the dislikes, the likes, the comments, all of that. It's like nobody really agrees on one unanimous thing about the movie. It's either you love this, you hate this, you love the movie, you hate the movie, and I should have expected it because the movie in itself is polarizing. If you go on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 59%. So 50% of the people liked it, 50% of people didn't like it. So that is a very, very, very right down the middle number, honestly. So I want to make this video to talk about some points that were brought up in my previous video, some misunderstandings about my previous video, and just talk about something I read about the movie as well from the directors talking about it. So the directors pretty much have talked about the scores it's getting, the critics, the polarization as well, and they say they sort of knew that would be coming as well, just due to the nature of the film and what it's about and all of that. They saw it coming, but they are pretty much happy with how the film is doing, however, because it is getting talked about. And like I said, anything that gets any sort of like buzz going on, whether it's from either being good or bad or any of that, the buzz always does create more eyes on it, so more people see it. More people hate it, but more people love it as well. So it's a win-win situation, I feel, either way, especially with a movie. So they pretty much talked about also the meaning as well as the reaction that test audiences had. And it's something that I've seen also in my comments as well. So for the meaning in itself, it's pretty much, as I've said before, there's these sort of belief in our society that we have already overcome all of this. And so it's pretty much what Malcolm X says: if you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull out 6 inches, there's no progress. If you pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made. And he also says they won't even admit the knife is there. And that's pretty much, I think, what the film is saying is, yeah, it's like the knife is all the way out, but it's still bleeding and it's still everywhere. And so I think that that's what this film is sort of saying about society in itself, is that we aren't all the way out of it yet about the racism and just the way that things are going on in America today. And it's very much so a thing of a reflection as well, I think, with everything that's been happening the past couple of years as well. And it's kind of crazy to think that it's only being more aware of now because of smartphones, honestly. Like I always say, I don't think that the world has gone more violent. I just think that there's more eyes on things happening now, and we are all more aware of it as well. And so the directors talked about, during a test screening for this film, they asked a question to the test audience. They said, raise your hand if you believe something like what's going on in the film could actually be going on in real life. And according to them, 100% of the test audience raised their hands up. And that should speak volumes to what is going on in our society. I feel that you would think that something like this is still going to be happening. And I mean, you can't blame people for believing something like this as well, because you see every day on the news what we see. I mean, we still have like many places in our country still protesting, and we still see many things happening that shouldn't be happening, whether it's with police brutality, all of that. And so I would certainly not discredit anybody who would think something like this is happening. And so I think that the film in itself, like I said in my previous video, it's not the message, it's not the plot or any of that. It was just the way the film was constructed that I was not happy with myself. You may be happy with it, it's fine, it's your opinion, and you're gladly able to discuss your opinion below if you want. I do think that the film, if it was constructed differently, it would have been better. But again, what I read from the directors themselves is they wanted it to feel jarring. They wanted it to feel like a clean cut, like from what we saw happening in the Civil War reenactment field to what was happening in the past before any of this happened to Veronica. And so I think that that is an artistic move on their part, which they said they liked, and many people I also see like. So art is subjective. We're not all gonna like certain things that happen in films, and if we did, That'd be kind of weird. So it's okay if we don't all agree on if the film flow is good or not. If you liked it, that's good on you. And some people didn't like it, like myself. That's okay. So I wasn't bashing the message or any of that. I think it's good. I think the twist in itself, like I said, I thought it was going to be a time travel thing when I saw the trailer back in December. And then when we got this, it was like, I didn't expect that to happen. But then when I saw it, I was like, well, okay, it's something like, like I wasn't expecting. So that's a good thing in itself. And like I said, it reminded me of The Village, an M. Night Shyamalan movie, which this movie is getting compared to a lot. I think that at the end of it, what the film is trying to say, in my point of view, may not be the point of view of the directors or yourself, is that we have things in our society today that are still tied to this very, very dark and racist time in America. Like, I get it. You're supposed to find out about these things, know the history, learn all about it as well. And that's okay for a museum or a classroom to be in, but not something that should be paraded. And of course, main culprit in this is Confederate flag, Confederate monuments. These are things that I think people should know about and learn about, but not things that should be paraded around by people, whether it's anywhere, at a sporting event, at their homes, or even, like, I don't understand how courts in some states, cities still have this flag being paraded around. And you want to argue that it's a heritage thing, it's a history thing. It's a history thing. That's what it should be. I don't think you should be proud of this, because these were people that were rebelling because they wanted state rights so that they could still have slaves. That's pretty much what it all boiled down to. And that's what makes it bad. So I think that that's what the movie's saying is, can we really sort of get to a point where this is happening, Sort of like The Handmaid's Tale as well, where it's like little things start to slowly topple the dominoes, and then we end up getting like things snowball out of control, and then it's like, where do we head to next? So I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I think that's what I think the film is saying is, like, if we don't put an end to like these little passes we give to racists, where does it all gonna end, So I think it's saying we gotta put an end to all of that. Like, we have to put a foot on the ground and say, that ain't right, that ain't flying. So that's just my thoughts on Antebellum and its meaning. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know. As I said, clarifications on previous video, wasn't bashing on the film like that, and I was just giving my opinion on it. So let me know what you think below. Anyways, as always, you haven't resubscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. We just hit 16,000. That is amazing. We will be having a different type of video coming out from now on, much more production heavy as well. Hopefully we can get to that point, and we are on the road to 20,000 now. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. I'll see all of you next time. As always, stay safe, stay positive.